goes, he will lead the Gators.
Elijah Martin is the subject of our player spotlight, brought to you by Carvana. He was limited to just 6 points on 2 of 12 in the loss to Tennessee. But before that, 7 straight games in double-figure scoring. Meanwhile, Denzel Aberdeen will make his first career start in a Gator uniform, starting in place of Walter Clayton.
Well, Aberdeen has a lot of experience, but now in a little bit more of a significant role for the Gators. He'll be an important factor against Vanderbilt.
And here we go. The Commodores win the tip in the road black, and the Gators in the home orange. Nearly a turnover on the first possession, and in fact it does result in a turnover for Vanderbilt. Walter Clayton injured early against Tennessee, tried to give it a go in the second half of that game, re-aggravated the ankle. We saw him in shoot-around today. They decided to hold him out tonight with a bear of a schedule still down the stretch for a Florida team that will be mixing it up with Aberdeen, making his first start in 65 career games. That'll help from Will Richard.
Will Richard is another one of these high-level guards that will be able to pick up the point production in the absence of Walter Clayton Jr.
What a year for this Vanderbilt team that replaced all 5 starters from a season ago, and back-to-back turnovers to start the game. And listen, this is a team that under Mark Byington still trying to figure out how to win on the road in the SEC. They've lost 3 in a row on the road in this league, including a 30-point whooping by the Sooners over the weekend.
Well, they got out of the gates with a great start with a big win on the road at LSU, but have struggled as of late. But this is a team that plays really good basketball. They're connected well, particularly on the offensive end, but struggling early on tonight.
There's Condon on the feed from Richard.
Now, this is where Florida will have a significant advantage. Condon in his interior play will be important.
Needed that from A.J. Hoggard, the first-year Michigan State transfer. Mark Byington told us he will be massive tonight.
Well, he has such physicality and experience.
Martin defended by Edwards. Contact and an offensive foul. Drawn by Edwards. The whistle came in a bit late from Ron Groover, and it's going the other way.
Jason Edwards taking it in the chest and timing that bump just right, selling it right in front of the official. Able to get the offensive foul as Elijah Martin trying to use his size advantage in the post.
Edwards tries a 3 and puts it down. 18 or more in 4 straight games for the Vanderbilt leading scorer. And Martin stepped out of bounds, and we'll give it back to the Commodores. Well, Todd Golden told us, look, the Tennessee game, I think, was a one-of-one situation. We ran into a buzzsaw, one of the best defensive teams, if not the best in the country. It was sort of a wash for this team coming into the day today.
And it was. Tennessee was a team that was looking to get some payback from what Florida was doing early on in the season. And Florida, uncharacteristic performance, not able to have their offensive game going.
Plus the Clayton injury, he felt significantly changed the dynamic of that game, which was a 3-point game at the half, by the way. Good rebound effort. Hoggard misses on the reload. McLaughlin a 3rd opportunity. And Nickel pays it off.
That's the one guy you cannot allow to have another opportunity. Tyler Nickel, phenomenal shooter, lines one up deep.
8-0 Vanderbilt run after trailing 5-zip to start. Martin had it tied up. McLaughlin wins it back. That is one area that this Vanderbilt team can excel defensively, turning you over. As they turn it over for the 3rd time in this half and give it back to the Gators.
Vanderbilt with another turnover, but the activity that they've been able to have on the offensive end, getting on the O boards, finding the extra man, Tyler Nickel, wide open with the tray ball.
You know, he was a guy that Todd Golden pointed out to us when they looked at the scout for Vanderbilt. They said, we cannot allow Tyler Nickel to hit 3 and 4 threes in this game.
Well, that was a possession that was created off the offensive rebound. And the best time to shoot an open three-pointer is going to be after that second chance opportunity on the O boards.
Chinyelu on the zip from Martin.
The interior size of Florida will be a major advantage on the offensive end. But at the same time, the way Vanderbilt executes in the half court, when they make Florida switch on the defensive end, they have ability to drive past them and create for others.
MJ Collins Jr. Oh, that's nifty on the step back.
And there you see, using your lack of size to your advantage, as Collins Jr. is able to get the switch on Condon, and he's able to get the mid-range J.
Coming off the bench exclusively for the first time in his career. He's actually flourished in his first season at Vanderbilt. Here's Aberdeen. And Martin with 10. Hounded by Hogard, who almost won it back. And Hogard with some chatter at the end of that play. 5 on the timer when we return for Florida. An early 10-7 lead for Mark Byington's Vanderbilt Commodores.
It's a tough player with a football background. So when you understand that he has this type of injury, it's really something that's hindering his play.
And Todd Golden essentially told us, look, if it was an NCAA tournament game, he could go. But we need to be careful here and cautious, considering there's a whole month left of the regular season plus the tournament. And the turnover gives it back to Florida.
Great active hands by the Gators on the last possession.
Condon fouled and just misses out on an opportunity for a three-point play.
This is a game where you have to pick and choose where your advantages lie. And Florida understands that they're going to have the advantage down low. Condon active already. They did a good job freeing him up in the low post. And there he is drawing a foul, going to the free throw line to shoot for 2.
You said something to me that I thought was so interesting during our last commercial break. You see a chess match developing tonight between these two teams. The post is a big part of that for Florida.
It is. And throughout a game like this, you have to figure out where your advantages are. And with Vanderbilt, you're undersized. But in many situations, when you get the switch on the defensive end by Florida, then you're going to have the ability to have driving lanes to create for yourself or to create for others.
Strong take from Huffman, couldn't get it to fall. Aberdeen running the offense. No Walter Clayton Jr. tonight. Urban Klobjar getting more minutes tonight as well, playing in just his 11th game, and there was a foul underneath. It'll go against Huffman.
Grant Huffman, as he dug down a little too aggressive, trying to tie up that ball, but called for a foul. A lot of active hands by both of these teams, which has been resulting in the turnovers.
Already 8 combined turnovers in the first 5 minutes of the game. Klobjar has only played 6 SEC minutes coming into the game tonight, but Todd Golden told us he'll be a big piece, at least in the first half. And Aberdeen floats it down.
That's a really good move by Denzel Aberdeen. Took his time coming off of that ball screen and found his advantage with a beautiful soft floater over the top.
MJ Collins Jr. from downtown. If you get him going, watch out for the Commodores.
He's feeling it early and shooting the ball. Rose up with a lot of confidence.
McLaughlin had it tipped out. Will Richard comes away with it. Floated into the paint. Condon with the hezzy.
Beautiful pass in the interior. And I love the way that Alex Condon caught that ball and kept it high so he wasn't able to get stripped for the easy deuce.
Here's Edwards, leading scorer for Vanderbilt at 17.5 per game. extra pass, Huffman. And Florida's running. 3 ball.
Game has a really nice up and down pace.
Edwards, a little too much physicality. He was reaching in on Condon. That is the first foul on number 1.
High-low feed to Alex Condon. Does a good job of catching that ball and avoiding the strip, finishing, even with a little contact down low.
To your point about pace, Todd Golden told us, look, we had a meeting yesterday where the point of emphasis was committing to playing fast and playing physical. Certainly we're seeing that for 7 minutes tonight against Vandy.
Well, they came off of their last game against Tennessee, who was able to slow the pace down and a grind-out type of style. Florida wants to put up points in bunches, and there's a good way to do it by feeding the big Alex Condon with his activity once again down low. It's the high-low action that Florida's been able to take advantage of. Thomas Howe pinpointing that one. Beautiful hands there by Condon to catch that ball and get it up on the boards and draw the foul.
Already 4 team fouls on Vanderbilt, and Condon will go back to the foul line. Well, certainly Alex Condon, somebody that has stepped into a new role this year. Played 20 minutes off the bench last season. This year has started all 22 games, including tonight. And as a result, his production is up across the board.
He's a consistent player, and he gives them a threat with his really good technical moves in the post. He can also get out and pick and roll, so when you're utilizing the heavy guard play, he sets effective screens and allows him to open up the court. He changes ends really well as well and is impactful on the defensive end.
Already 6 early points for Condon.
Jalen Carey with a mismatch down low. They're asking for it in the paint.
Hogard clearing him out. Here is Carey. The James Madison transfer. Right into the teeth of the defense on the smaller Elijah Martin and takes advantage.
And that's beautiful recognition right there by Vanderbilt, knowing you have the mismatch. If you're Florida, you have to recognize that early and pre-switch and help your guard out, get him out of the paint.
Some contact, no call. Ball might have been swatted there. And a travel called by Ron Groover. And that is the 5th turnover for Florida in the first 8 minutes.
Beautiful move and a lot of patience by Jalen Carey. Taking his time, spinning, finding the angle, and an outstanding finish with the left hand over a smaller defender.
He is an X factor in SEC games. More on that in a bit, but Mark Byington told us absolutely we need him scoring in double figures. And Carey again right on cue with a strong take to the cup.
Tough finish. Taking on the contact, hanging in midair before he put that one up on the ring, and it drops home.
Martin to Howe, had it jarred loose. Carey wins it back for Vandy. Up ahead to Nickel. 3 ball from Tanner. Not his strength, shooting less than 20% in league play from distance. Richard out the offensive board and draws a foul on the Commodores.
Jalen Carey's been able to find some things in the post-up and in the pick and roll. Takes on the bump with an outstanding finish for Vandy.
Okay, in studio, how about the other game in the SEC going on right now? Kentucky trying to bounce back from that loss to Arkansas. They're on the road in Oxford. Jamin Breakfield's hit his first 2 threes. Rebels up 8 at that point, and then Otega Owe going to cut to the basket, finish there. Cats currently down 6. Ole Miss shooting 54% to this point.
Well, thank you, Dari. Both of these teams trying to bounce back from blowout losses, 20+ for both teams last Saturday. For Vanderbilt, the X factor early in this game and all SEC has been Jalen Carey. They are undefeated when he scores in double figures, and they're 0-3 when he doesn't.
Well, Jalen Carey has had a lot of success in the low post, particularly when he has mismatch and smaller defenders. He's able to use his strength and some good up and under moves to create space and get it up on the boards. If he can continue the pace that he has right now, it'll be huge for the Commodores.
He has 4 of Vanderbilt's 9 bench points. They have outscored Florida 9-zip off the bench. Meanwhile, Thomas Houck at the line after the second foul on Tyler Nickel. And that's some foul trouble we'll have to keep an eye on, because, again, Nickel has that ability to spread the floor for Vanderbilt with a 3-point shot. He has gone to the bench. Well, coming up next in the SEC, Janai Broome leads #1 Auburn against Jalen Moore and the 16-5 Oklahoma Sooners. That is next on SEC Net. Sooners looking for back-to-back after they 30-pieced Vanderbilt over the weekend in Norman.
Porter Moser has his team playing really good basketball, but going to take on a top challenge with Janai Broome. This Auburn squad, Bruce Pearl has played at a high level.
Hogarth with a look at the shot clock. 5 to go. Takes it himself. Heavy with the floater. Aberdeen comes away with it. Houck at midcourt. McLaughlin on the turf. One back by Martin. And Brown is blocked at the rim. They're going to say it was goaltending, or was there a foul there? A.J. Hogarth came right up, and I believe it's a goaltend.
This was magnificent effort from both teams. Getting after it, fighting, hustling, diving on the ground for loose balls, not giving up until the final second, even with the rejection attempt. Tremendous effort.
Well, Elijah Martin is called by all of his teammates a dog because of effort like that. And how about Tyler Tanner? Bloodied in the face, has to exit after that scrum in the middle of the floor. Tied the game for Florida, stopped a 3-minute drought without a field goal.
You mentioned this was a game where teams are going to be playing with a sense of urgency, and that's exactly what embodied it on that last play.
Edwards a step back. Oh, that is nasty. Falling to the court. And a timeout called by Courtney Green, one of our 3 officials tonight. Elijah Martin a little bit shaken up, gripping that left hip. And now he heads down the tunnel. And again, this is a short-handed Florida team. No Walter Clayton Jr. tonight if you're just joining us, nursing an ankle injury.
Vanderbilt electing to get into a little bit of full-court pressure.
Sam Alexis fresh into the ball game. Aberdeen directing traffic. Richard with 5. Brown, offensive foul. The second charge drawn of the night by Vanderbilt's Jason Edwards.
Edwards sliding over, trying to get in position, and draws a foul. That was really good defensive effort by Vanderbilt the entire possession. Edwards sliding over, takes it in the chest. He took it in the chest, but a tough one from the angle that he was able to draw the foul there.
Almost thrown away, and then the bump by Brown sent Carey to the floor. No call there, and it's a turnover for Vandy.
There was a foul that could have been called easily as Carey was going for that loose ball.
They're letting them play tonight.
They're letting them play
both ways.
And, you know, in some ways, you want teams to have to earn it on the court. These are two teams that are playing up-tempo defensive basketball. They're pressing into their man and forcing you to catch the ball extended away from the three-point line. There's going to be a level of physicality to this game. Vanderbilt's bigs are doing a really good job of hedging and making good decisions on the ball screens.
Aberdeen pull up, and it rims down.
Aberdeen once again being able to create his own shot on a one-on-one situation and dropping down at mid-range J.
Both teams shooting above 50%. Florida at 60. Collins Jr. with a head fake and draws a foul. 2 shots coming for the Virginia Tech transfer.
Beautiful poise by MJ Collins Jr. Utilized the pump fake to get freed up and drive into the lane, and then to get the shot blocker into the air to draw the foul.
11 new players on this Vanderbilt roster under first-year head coach Mark Byington. Playing in their 4th top 10 showdown in the last 5 games. They've won 2 of those against Kentucky and Tennessee. Currently in the NCAA tournament on the 10 line, according to Joe Lunardi. What a win tonight would do for that resume. And the ball is staying here. Last touch by Vandy, 13 to shoot for Florida. And it's been a remarkable turnaround by a coach that's used to doing this. He took a James Madison team that went 9-21 the year before he got there, and in 4 years it turned them into an NCAA tournament team.
Yeah, for many who have watched Vanderbilt, they might not have had the high expectations, but head coach Mark Byington, known as a program builder.
Aberdeen got it off. Oh, puts it down. What a response by Edwards, falling again to the floor.
Aberdeen knocked down the tray, and Edwards says right back at you with another circus shot.
Brown, no contact, corralled by Collins. Chinulu down behind the play. Numbers for Vandy. And Edwards draws a foul, pushing the pace. And Vanderbilt's bench, once on the review, they thought it should have been a goaltend.
Outstanding job of having recognition by Denzel Aberdeen with the tray ball from deep, and the bench is loving it. As the shot clock expired.
The call on the floor from the goaltending at 10:44 has been confirmed. It is good, 2 points. And then also the basket interference goaltending that we just called here has been called no good. And we're going to shoot 2 shots for the foul and go point of interruption.
I'll tell you what, well done by Courtney Green there. That's a lot of information to get out clearly, and he did so. Now Jason Edwards goes to the line for 2 shots after the foul. And a chance for Vanderbilt to take the lead.
Able to knock out 2 for 1 in the same review.
Impressive.
I like it.
I'm a big fan of efficiency. I don't know if you picked up on that.
Absolutely.
Working with me during this season. Here's another look at what was not a goaltend And the ball just too low on the glass there. Meanwhile, Edwards makes them both. Vandy regains the lead. For Edwards to lead all scores. And Will Richard rolling to the cup.
That's a beautiful design action by Florida coming out of the break. Todd Golden dialing one up to get Will Richard freed up, and a beautiful pinpoint pass.
Nickel back into the game with 2 fouls. That's why. His ability to make shots and spread the floor.
And that was created when Florida elected to switch. You had the guard on him who was able to get a piece of the paint, force the rotation, and then Nickel, recognizing how to play off the closeout, got the advantage.
Chinyelu on the reception. Double comes. Chinyelu heavy. Ball corralled by Condon. Richard extra pass. Aberdeen a 3. Chinyelu wins it back, a third opportunity. Klobuchar. And there's a whistle underneath. It's going to go against Florida on the box out. And back to Vanderbilt.
Bodies banging down low as his officiating crew trying to clean some things up underneath the boards.
It is the second foul on the Washington State transfer, Ruben Chinyelu.
Would have called for just a bull rush into Jalen Carey. And that's one you want to keep your eyes on under the boards. This is a man's game right there. 2 of the best. Banging.
Particularly between these two. Chinyelu and Carey could easily be playing tight end at the Power 5 level right now.
And I love it. That's what I want to see. This is a game that you got to really hold your own. And these are 2 guys that I believe are doing so.
Edwards off the screen. Step back 3. Right place, right time. Carey puts it in.
And it's the switching defense that's gotten Florida in trouble once again. Chinyelu out on Edwards, but the offensive rebound to Jalen Carey because he has a much smaller defender on.
Aberdeen backing down. Huffman counted in the foul.
Denzel Aberdeen. Early on, and just a strong individual effort, able to take on the contact, and it finds the bottom of the cup.
Aberdeen getting the start tonight in place of the injured Walter Clayton Jr., a top 10 scorer in the league. Todd Golden told us, we went to Denzel and said, you've got to be great tonight. You don't have to be Walter Clayton, but you've got to be great tonight. So far, he has.
Well, he's just being himself. And this is a high-level player who has a lot of experience and played in big games. And here he is now, once again, in the starting role, which has required him to bring some point production from the rip. And he's not only doing that, he's doing a really good job on the defensive end with his ball pressure, with a tough assignment on Edwards.
Meanwhile, first foul on Alex Condon and the 6th on Florida. Next foul for either team sends the other to the line. 6 minutes to go in the opening half. Vanderbilt by 1. Hogard. Carey snatches the rebound. Right into the chest of Richard. And that's back-to-back putbacks by the JMU transfer.
And that's a big boy move right there as Carey on the O boards once again and the stick back.
8 points on 4 of 4 from the floor. Hout cans a 3.
Great find. Hout able to stretch the floor out. Gets his feet set, knocks down the tray ball.
Blow by. Hogard lays it in. Spent 4 years at Michigan State, went to the NCAA tournament all 4 years, and has found a new home in Nashville. Aberdeen. Heavy. Condon, the putback jam.
It's the switching defenses in rotation that are creating the offensive rebound. Condon had the mismatch on Nickel down low, out-muscled him, got the rebound in the jam.
8 points, 5 boards for Condon. before the timeout by Todd Golden.
Boxing out, so important in a game of this such. And Condon able to get himself freed up with the putback.
How about this game, man? How about this game? We wondered what we would see from Vanderbilt on the road in a building in which Florida has been nearly unbeatable this season. They weathered the storm, and they've brought the storm to Florida at times.
This game has delivered. It's exactly what you expect from two teams who had tough performances in their last outing to regroup with some quality practices, understanding that this is a game that you need to stay in the pace in SEC play, and they seem to have come out and answered the bell.
And for Vanderbilt, currently on the 10 line, looking to make their first NCAA tournament since the 2016-17 season. A win tonight would be huge. It would be their third top 10 win of the season. A lot of ball to play, tied at 31. 5 minutes to go in the opening half.
A road win at that would be massive for the Commodores.
Here's Carey. Floater no good. His first miss. And it's going the other way.
Jalen Carey electing to shoot the mid-range jumper. As he's been able to get the point-blank baskets, he needs to get another.
Pretty much every game in the SEC is a resume-building opportunity this year.
It is, and if you're coaches, that's what you really want to see, because you have some games, if you're dropping one, you have plenty of opportunities as the season progresses to get a quality win and improve that NCAA tournament resume.
13 teams projected to make it in a 16-team league, 3 1 seeds. Hogard tracks down the rebound and wants to push. Hogard off the bounce, set back by Condon, and they're going to count the bucket. A goaltend against the sophomore from Australia.
I think that was a clean block as Alex Condon rotated over, and I believe he blocked that one at the apex. So we get another peek at it. Hogard going up, and I think that's a clean rejection from Condon. Beautiful block. Ball still on the way up.
Well, they will review it at the under 4 timeout. So if it is, in fact, a clean block, points will get wiped off the board for Vanderbilt. Todd Golden agrees with you, partner. He was heated after they called that a goaltend.
And I think those calls are tough. You have the rule, obviously, to be able to review it. But this is 2 points that's probably going to come off the board for Vanderbilt, which changes the tone of the game. It's something that I believe when they take a look at it, they need to talk about how you can change the reviews of goaltends and get the call correct or move on in the midst of the game.
Particularly in a game as close as this. 2 points is a huge deal as Klavjar rims out of 2. That was down and out.
It is huge for momentum as well. A block of that sort.
Locked in, right place, right time. And Hogard pulls it back out. Inside to Carey. 10 to shoot. Carey tried to call a timeout instead of jump ball. And the possession arrow points to the Gators. 2-point game for now. Elijah Martin back on the bench after he exited with an apparent hip injury. That's good news for the Gators, who for now trail by 2.
Tie game. We'll see you shortly.
Thank you, Dari. Thank you, Pat. Here's the call in the arena from Courtney Green.
The previous call of a basket interference goaltending is no good. Points will be taken off, and we'll resume play.
This was the correct call, as this was a picture-perfect block by Alex Condon, rotating over, blocking that shot at the pinnacle. but it's the reviews in the game. Create the stoppage in the flow. That's a momentum-changing block that, if that's not counted as a goaltend, could have been beneficial for Florida.
Sure, maybe they go the other way. They hit a 3 in transition. Now they're up 3 instead of tied at 31. And for Vanderbilt, you come out of a timeout in which you think you're winning, and instead it's a tie game.
Yeah, I do think that's something that within the rules should be looked at.
Sure.
And maybe it should just be, as you understand that there's a human element in the game. There's going to be some missed calls, and you would probably be better off to make a better call if you don't have in your pocket that you can review it. You'll be more dialed in, and you just accept the call as it is.
Particularly bang-bang calls like that.
Absolutely.
Tied at 31, 3:30 to go. Both teams in the bonus with the next foul.
Look at the ball pressure from Vanderbilt.
Open 3, Condon.
Florida's done a really good job of stretching Vanderbilt out when they hedge on these ball screens going in the pick and pop. Condon hasn't been able to take advantage of that, knocking down the wide open 3 ball. But it's something that I'm pretty sure that Florida will have to look at.
Carey trying to get it to Edwards. A lot of physicality defended by Aberdeen. And a travel thanks to the excellent defense by Aberdeen.
Aberdeen has really good size at the guard position, strength and length. It's a tough assignment on the crafty Edwards. They were to win that matchup on the last possession.
And now they're taking a look at the elbow of Carey. He's got some blood on his elbow. So we've seen Tyler Tanner go out with a bloody nose. We've seen now Carey go down with a bloody elbow. He's going to have to get that taped up. Elijah Martin went through the tunnel earlier in the first half. He has come back to the bench and resumed play. This is the physical basketball we anticipated tonight.
Well, the players understand the importance of this game. You're in the middle of SEC play. You obviously have NCAA tournament goals, but it's also about the momentum and reestablishing who you are as a team. The games that they recently played, the physicality wasn't there. The offensive point production wasn't there. And it's about reestablishing the tone in which both of these ball clubs like to play. And we've been having a good match so far.
Florida has lost just 1 game at home this year. It was to Missouri by 1, a game in which the Tigers led by 20. Every other game they've won by 18 or more. Todd Golden's team at the O-Dome has been spectacular. An arena that is often packed to the brim, and it is again tonight. Over 10,000 on hand. Home run pass to Condon, and lays it home.
Excellent design play. Todd Golden 2 for 2 in the ATOs after timeouts of dialing up some action to get a clean look. And once again, the pinpointed pass, Elijah Martin to Condon.
Former high school quarterback, 4-star recruit on the gridiron. Carey responds with a left hand.
Great job by Jalen Carey, getting his body in front of the defender and shielding it from the basket, finishing with the left.
Martin still scoreless in this game, but has made other plays. Hauk on the feed from Condon. 2 shots coming.
Excellent man movement and ball movement. But it's
this pass from Elijah Martin here.
This is a touchdown right here. Look at him dialed in the pocket. Puts the ball on the money. He's got
his wide receiver.
Well, he didn't want to lay out. You know, this is, I don't know if the hardwood feels as good as grass when you try to lay out for that completion. And I think he did a good job of catching that one off the deck.
Did you ever lay out Superman dive on the hardwood?
No.
You're too big for that.
No, for sure. You know, what can you do on the ground? You know, basketball is played on your feet.
Hustle plays, redshirt.
Pull the rebound before it hits the ground, and you don't have to dive for it. I mean, you know,
touche. Tipped into the hands of Tanner. 1-point lead for Florida. 2 minutes and change to go in the first half. Hogard. No. Carey fighting for it. Aberdeen comes away with it. Martin had it tipped away by McLaughlin.
Great swim move by McLaughlin to get around and get a tip.
8th turnover forced in the first half by Vandy. Counted in the foul for Edwards, who's in double figures.
That was impressive right there by Jason Edwards, coming down in transition, slowed down the pace and lulled the defense asleep, then steps on the gas and takes it all the way, taking the bump. Beautiful finish and one.
18 or more in 4 straight, including wins over top 10 teams, Kentucky and Tennessee. And again tonight against another top 10 team, 12 points on 4 of 5 in the first half.
Well, the reality is Vanderbilt's playing like a top team and showing that they're one of them too. I mean, when you play really good opponents and you beat them, obviously you get the respect from others. But what head coach Mark Byington has been able to do in year 1 shows the confidence that this team is playing with.
And a 1-and-1 coming for Florida. Second foul on Jalen Carey. So now 2 Commodores with 2 fouls, Carey and Nickel.
It's important in the last 1 minute 22 seconds not to pick up a cheap foul in a game of this magnitude. As Condon goes to the line to shoot.
Third trip to the line in the first half for Condon. And he's now 3 for 5. Well, women's basketball takes over the SEC network every Thursday. This week, another great doubleheader. Bama, Florida, a team that Vanderbilt just beat to jump into the top 25, and then the top 25 showdown between the Commodores and the Texas Longhorns, all on the SEC network on Thursday night.
Great action all around on the women's side. Alabama and Christy Curry's squad in the top 25 with a trio of guards: Sarah Ashley Barker, Zay Green, and Leah Nye, taking on a triple-double threat in Liv McGill in Florida.
Edwards lost it, and it's going back to Florida. And now Mark Byington's going to make a pair of substitutions. Tyler Tanner will come back on. Same with M.J. Collins Jr. Enough contact there for a foul.
In a game like this, I don't know. We've seen some blood on some plays.
Yes.
I don't know.
I agree. I like the no call personally.
It's consistent.
Urban Klavjar has already played more minutes in the first half of this game than he has in any SEC game this year. Has the ball with 10 to shoot. Condon to Houck for 3.
Florida's been getting some clean looks in their screen roll action when they pop their bigs. Not able to knock it down. Vanderbilt looking for a long possession to get a shot towards the end of the shot clock.
To shoot for Hogard. Zips it into Carey. Can't get it to go, and the tap back won't count. A shot clock violation. We'll give it back to Florida with 5.5 ticks left in the first half.
Good idea by A.J. Hogard to dump that one off. Carey not able to handle it for a layup. Florida, plenty of time to get a quality shot on the last possession.
Where are you going here if you're the Gators?
Well, with the pressure extended, you got to watch the inbounder, Denzel Aberdeen, to get the ball back on a full head of steam.
Right on cue. Aberdeen at midcourt. 2 to go. Aberdeen won't hit it. And the Commodores carry a 1-point lead into the break against a top 10 Florida team on the road.
Game is living up to the billing. Two teams playing incredibly hard in a very important game.
And both teams shot 50% or better in the first half as we send you back to studio with Dari Nokwa and Pat Bradley.
All right, guys, thank you much.
Footwork in the paint and turning on the Jets has been able to get him heavy into point production.
And on the other side, Denzel Aberdeen making his first career start for the injured Walter Clayton. You can't ask for much more. He had 9 in the first frame.
Taking full advantage of it with the creativity, tough shot-making ability. He's been playing superb so far.
Both teams shot 50% or better in the first half. Both were 3 for 10 from downtown. Both turned it over 8 times as Edwards is up to 14. And a 1-point lead out of the break for Vanderbilt, trying to bounce back after a loss to Oklahoma. And in search of their 3rd top 10 win in the last 2 weeks. Foul underneath will go against Vandy. And it is the first on Chris Magnon. Meanwhile, Florida, a team that lost by 20 to Tennessee. Walter Clayton, of course, was injured in that game. That's why he's missing the game tonight with that ankle. Just their 3rd loss of the season, and it came on the road against the best defense in the country. Richard a 3, ties it at 38.
Great recognition by Elijah Martin. Getting a piece of the paint, got the defense to follow him. Finds the sharpshooter, Richard, knocking it down. It's plays like that jump out. Maybe not on the stat sheet for Martin, who you expect high points performance, but setting his teammates up for easy looks.
They're going to get McLaughlin over the back there. And 2 quick team fouls on Vanderbilt in the first minute of the second half.
The start of the second half in this game is so important. Vanderbilt did a great job with some designed action to free up Edwards to get a layup. And setting the tone in the first few possessions critical in this game.
Here's Elijah Martin, scoreless in the first half, and will remain scoreless. An offensive foul.
Todd Golden seems to disagree with this one totally. As Elijah Martin comes around the corner, and it's the seal off there by Chinyelu.
And that's the 3rd on Chinyelu. And you can hear how the Rowdies feel behind us. Did not agree with the call. Another great crowd at the O-Dome tonight in Gainesville. Zipped into McLaughlin and puts it in through the chest of Condon.
That's good poise right there by Devin McLaughlin, catching that ball with the shot blocker looming, spotted where he was, took his time, found the angle, and put it off the glass.
Condon to lob. Chinyelu. Nice touch around the rim by the sophomore from Nigeria.
Really impressed with the bigs on the last couple of possessions, catching tough passes and having the presence of mind to make a good play to finish.
Nickel stepped on the line after the pass by Hogarth.
You got to have quality bigs, and these two have been making really good plays. McLaughlin spotting the shot blocker and able to finish with a little contact. And Chinyelu with a great catch, locating where the rim was and a soft touch around the basket.
Back inside of the big fella. Richard, hammer time. Hello.
Wow. Phenomenal play by Will Richard. Taking it on the baseline and going up strong.
And McLaughlin will get 2 shots.
It's Will Richard, one baseline, taking advantage of that seal by Condon. And when he gets to the rim, he attacks it with authority. It's the subtle things in the game. You see these players who are getting baskets at the cup, but it's not just the guards, it's the bigs. Chinyulu, Conlon doing a great job of sealing off their own man to create an alley for the guards to go all the way to the basket.
And how big is this? Chinyulu, with 17:21 left in regulation, will go to the bench with 4 fouls.
It's huge. His presence and physicality down low is huge for Florida.
Florida team whose rotation is already shortened tonight, albeit at the guard position. No Walter Clayton, but now 4 fouls for Chinyulu, and Houck comes into the game.
Houck gives you something else. And what he gives you is the ability to stretch the court, play a little bit more in the high-low with his passing ability. Could be an advantage for Florida with Chinyulu on the side.
Elijah Martin still looking for his first points of the night. Inside to Houck, and hounded and fouled by Tanner. Well, both teams were in the bonus with quite a bit of time left in the first half. Seems like we're seeing, and this could just be me, quicker whistles to start the second half after a very physical first 20 minutes.
Well, the game has settled down a little bit. Teams start to make their adjustments. They understand the physical presence that both teams have, and they've been able to generate those fouls by changing their pace and the angles in which they play and understanding the assignment.
Good block there by Magnon. Ball on the deck, scooped by Martin, and those are his first 2 of the night.
You can't keep a good man down. And Elijah Martin, one of the top guards in the conference, there he is getting an easy one by getting on the O boards.
How on earth did MJ Collins Jr. first off get that pass and lay it in?
Well, he was open for a whole second before Carey was able to spot him, but to catch that ball being past the goal and find it, beautiful recognition of where he was on the court.
Corner 3. Lobbed inside, Condon, yes. And Condon with 13.
Condon's doing a great job of pushing his man up the court, creating space between him and the basket for the lob over the top.
Carey at 3, tied again at 46.
Wow. The big man, Jalen Carey, teeing one up from outside.
McLaughlin will send us to our first break of the second half. We have had 11 ties, 8 lead changes tonight in the O-Dome.
It's been major play, none bigger than this shot by Jalen Carey, the big man, tickling the twine. His point production and tying this game up.
By the way, Ole Miss now is going to have wins over Alabama and Kentucky in SEC play. Vanderbilt similarly has wins over Kentucky and Tennessee, and tonight they're looking for their 3rd win this season against a top 10 team.
Well, every team in this league is good. Ole Miss, as you mentioned, up with a lot of time left on that Kentucky team. A lot of time to play in that one, but seems to be in control.
Here comes Tanner off the miss. Tied at 46 for the 11th time tonight. Tanner scoops, Carey to the rim with the left hand and flexing down the floor.
Man, the big man is feeling it tonight, and the finesse with the lefty finish in the paint.
He only has 1 miss tonight. 7 for 8 from the floor. Condon a 3. Out the offensive board. Martin the reload. And a great rebound effort by Tyler Nickel, playing with 2 fouls.
Very strong rebound in traffic.
Hogard, blow by, too heavy. Down behind the play, here comes Aberdeen. Aberdeen.
End-to-end pace. As you'll see Tyler Tanner looking to slow this one down to see if they can get a quality shot in the half-court set.
MJ Collins Jr. high off the window, won't go. Tanner fighting for it. Here comes Martin. Will Richard downtown.
Richards shooting lights out in 3-point range, knocks down another one.
Hogard with less than 10 to shoot. Defended by Martin. 5 to go. Nickel off the bounce. Sent away by Hauk. And it'll stay here with less than a second to shoot. What a play by Hauk, cycling over.
Really good recovery by Hauk. Gets beat after he closes out, but the length of Hauk, able to time that one for the rejection.
Hogard, the inbounder. Devin McLaughlin just checked back into the game for Vanderbilt. Meanwhile, Jason Edwards remains on the bench. He's not in foul trouble, and he's led this team in scoring tonight with 14. Shot clock violation will give it back to Florida. Curious to see Jason Edwards on the bench. Didn't appear to be anything injury related. Maybe getting extended rest for Mark Byington.
Definitely been impactful in this game. Vanderbilt played really good basketball.
So it's the freshman Tyler Tanner running the point. Hogard, McLaughlin, tap back, no, and snatched by Brown.
Tough one for McLaughlin, not able to get his putback to find it.
There's a foul there on MJ Collins Jr. trying to fight through the screen. That is his first, but already the 5th on Vanderbilt. And now, finally, Jason Edwards will come back onto the floor. .14 tonight for Edwards on 5 of 6. And here comes Edwards 2-on-1. Great rebound effort by McLaughlin.
McLaughlin, the right place at the right time. Edwards loves to change his pace. He was able to do so and bring 2 defenders his way, allowing McLaughlin to get the putback.
Alexis from downtown.
That is a big shot.
McLaughlin and Richard corrals. Florida had 3 made threes in the first half. They already have 3, and we're not even halfway through the second frame here in Gainesville. Almost snatched by Tanner. Oh, Richard is a bad man.
And this is a big possession for Vanderbilt. The energy's in the building. They get the response they need with the goaltending call. Huge basket by Jason Edwards.
How about this three by Will Richard? Had it jarred loose, recovers, bang.
Big time shot. Will Richard taking his time, knocking down the tray. We got a good
for Edwards, who's sitting on 16. Three-point game, 10:30 to go. Florida right now, top 10 in the net. There are only 3 losses, all the Quad 1 teams, Kentucky, Missouri, and Tennessee. Alexis counted in the foul.
Sam Alexis making big plays. Knocked down a tray ball moments ago, and here he is taking it to the basket and finishing through the contact with an and one.
Edwards defended by Houck. And draws a foul on Houck. There was a lot of contact there early. They let him play. And then Edwards caught a shot to the face. And again, Golden is fired up on the Florida sideline.
Todd Golden definitely animated after this foul call, the change of pace by Edwards. And I too agree with Todd Golden, as it seemed as if Jason Edwards lost the ball. Good defense by Florida. The ball to Vanderbilt with another opportunity. The side out of bounds.
Florida with 14 fouls. Vanderbilt already with 6. One more. Florida shooting free throws the rest of the game. Both teams hit the bonus at the end of the first half. Carey. Just his second miss. And Richard comes away with a rebound. And a whistle underneath on Edwards. And that is the 7th on Vanderbilt.
That's a tough situation right there for Vanderbilt. You have Carey, who shoots a three-pointer and not known for his three-point shooting, and you cross the match getting back in transition. It forces a much smaller guard to guard the post-up player in Alexis, and it results in a foul call on the duck-in. That's one, if you're Carey, you got to get back in defensive transition, switch out with the guard, and get back down in physical position down low.
Again tonight, Florida without Walter Clayton Jr., a top 10 scorer in the SEC with an ankle injury. I'll tell you what, MJ Collins Jr. in his bag in the mid-range.
Man, MJ is exactly right. Wow. Good time moves by Collins Jr.
And Florida's, as we get another look at Collins Jr.
See that?
9 points, 3 boards. Florida, though, is also without Ruben Chinyelu, who went to the bench early in the second half with 4 fouls, with 17:21 left in the game. Alexis hounded. Deep 3. Got it from downtown. Klobsar from distance. And the largest lead of the night for the Gators.
Klobsar stepping up and shooting that tray ball with a lot of confidence. And the crowd is back into it.
Edwards fading. No. Hawk the rebound. Klobuchar again. Bang!
Has made big contributions when Florida needed them most, knocking down huge threes and none bigger than this transition tray ball. Cash money. Plus right here, ill-advised shots in the last couple possessions. Poor transition defense has led to easy, clean looks for Florida. And this is the moment you have to make the adjustment. Vandy has done a tremendous job all game long of making it difficult for Florida to get good baskets and good shots. But the one little moment, 1 minute spurt allows Florida to capitalize.
Hogard, step through, set back by Alexis, and out corrals. Danger zone here for the Commodores. Florida outscoring Vanderbilt 28-18 in the second half. Klobuchar. Martin pushes with the left hand. It's good. And a double-digit lead for the number 6 team in the country.
Elijah Martin was out early in the shoot-around, working on left-hand floaters over and over and over, and there he is, making it count.
Edwards needed that floater. Absolutely needed it to stop an 8-0 Florida run.
It's a big one, but if you're Vanderbilt, it's going to have to get done on this end of the court, putting together a string of stops.
Second chance won by Hout. Klobuchar already 6 points in this game. He played 6 minutes in the SEC coming into the game. 9 to shoot. 5 for Richard. Hout lost it, and a whistle comes in. And if it's against Carey, that's his third.
Really good presence of mind by Thomas Hout to know that he has time. Puts it on the deck, draws the foul, going to the free throw line.
With 15 and 5. And how long does Mark Byington elect to keep his big man out of the game is a big question for Vanderbilt down the stretch.
Well, Florida has done a really good job all game long of cutting and driving with a purpose and playing tough. And when you do that, you're able to get the fouls and soften the defense up. And now here you are in the last moments of the game, and you're able to play against a defense that's not able to be as aggressive. And that strategy is starting to pay off for the Gators.
Well, this is next week's gymnastics doubleheader right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. Number 2 Florida at number 15 Arkansas, and then a top 10 showdown between Kentucky and Oklahoma. That's Friday on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. A lot of national championship banners being hung in the O-Dome. Gymnastics, basketball, you name it, they've done it. And just across the street, a couple of national championships at Ben Hill Griffin Stadium.
Yeah. A lot of champions here, and you got to enjoy the Friday night heights.
Blocked it. Goes right past Chinyelu, who is playing with 4 fouls and back into the game for the first time since the 17-21 mark.
Good recognition there by McLaughlin.
Into Chinyelu, almost had it stolen by Edwards. Edwards on top. And what do they call here? I didn't see a foul or a jump ball called from Courtney Green, just a whistle. And it is a jump ball, and the possession arrow to the Gators.
Florida's been really good in these situations to design things to draw up. Todd Golden coming out of breaks has been able to get designed action to get clean looks. See what they can draw up in this baseline out of bounds.
They get it to Elijah Martin. Martin starts in a left-hand twirl.
That was a strong drive. My goodness. Put his head down, able to get to the middle of the paint. Just create the space. for the easy lay-in.
Edwards lost it, but was fouled first.
So shifty, Jason Edwards. His ability to change pace and change speeds to turn on the jets is elite. He's able to turn the corner. But in this point of the game, Vanderbilt was able to stay in this game and have early leads because they were able to play connected. They have to continue to settle down, even though Edwards is going to the free throw line to shoot for two. When they were executed in the half-court set as a unit, they were deadly in the first half.
Him and Martin have been jawing back and forth all game. It's continued onto the free throw line here. 2 shots for Edwards.
You know, just exchanging a few pleasantries. That's all it is.
Well, Edwards is a guy that has relished the big stage. Began his career at Division II in Birmingham, Alabama, redshirted, then went the JUCO route, was an All-American, then goes to North Texas where he's an all-conference player, and now has found his way onto the biggest stage in college basketball this year in the SEC.
Started off at Miles College near Birmingham, Alabama in the SIAC conference in Division II, and now here he is starring for Vanderbilt in the SEC. Little peek at his path and the dedication that he's had in his basketball career.
Says he still has quote-unquote pinch me moments walking into the Vanderbilt practice facility and seeing the locker room that he gets to call his own in Nashville. 9-point game after 2 made free throws by Edwards. 5.5 to go in Gainesville. Richard reverses it home.
Will Richard getting saucy with the dribbling moves, taking it to the other side with the reverse. Wow.
Hogard lost his footing. In trouble. Ball on the deck. Hogard wins it back. Carey zips it in. Magnon in the foul. What a sequence by the Commodores. Hanging on by a thread and a chance at a 3-point play.
Magnon in the right place at the right time. As Vanderbilt able to come up with the loose ball. The 3-point play opportunity. Magnon.
Magnon, the grad transfer from Cornell, where he spent 4 seasons and was first-team All-Ivy a year ago. Makes it an 8-point game.
As expected, Vanderbilt's going to jump into a little bit of full-court pressure, trying to see if they can turn up the tempo on Florida.
Aberdeen has had an excellent night with the push, got away with it, and draws a foul to boot. And who's that against? Might have been Carey. It is, and Jalen Carey is fouled out. He was hot early, limited to just a couple of points in the second half. Didn't like the foul call, and frankly, I think he has an argument because Aberdeen, with a big push off first, went without a whistle.
Absolutely. Until Aberdeen got away with one as Tyler Tanner closed the space, pushes him off, extends the arm, and even the verticality on Jalen Carey. That is a tough break for Vanderbilt. 2 missed calls on the same possession, and Carey, who's had a phenomenal game of 15 points, 5 rebounds, will take a break on the bench. A little back and forth.
That was odd. Carey wanted to shake Todd Golden's hand. Todd Golden looked like he said, we'll shake after. Now he heads to the bench.
Well, that was brewing up throughout the course of the game. There's been a lot of jawing back and forth. And Carey and the bench of Florida had some choice words after his rejection or being fouled out of the game. But still a phenomenal effort by Jalen Carey, but will no longer be able to contribute.
Well, this team 4-0 in SEC games in which he scores in double figures, as he has tonight. 0-3 when he hasn't. They needed a big game from him. They got it. And now he'll have to watch the final 4:45 from the Pine. 72-63 Florida. They've made 8 of their last 9 shots. Nickel, scoop, McClellan puts it down.
Nickel does a phenomenal job of catching the ball on the move on closeouts and getting the advantage. And that time, unselfish, dropping it off to McLaughlin. Really good team play by Vanderbilt, and still a lot of time left in this game.
Nearing the under 4 timeout in Gainesville. Aberdeen, defended by Tanner. Stuck and draws a foul with 3 seconds left on the shot clock. And all Mark Byington can do is just double over and scratch his head.
Well, that was good offense, the patience after the good defense of Vanderbilt. Mark Byington will have to talk things over with his Doors on the road.
Getting more minutes tonight because the Gators are without Walter Clayton Jr., top 10 scorer in the SEC. Game time decision, ultimately sitting out with an ankle injury. So it's been Aberdeen and Klobuchar. And Aberdeen, too, has had an excellent night. He's at the line with 10 points.
Denzel Aberdeen, he got Florida going early, and he did it with big buckets on the individual one-on-one effort. And when you have that, those buckets are loud. It's almost like they count more than just 2 points, and your team is able to get energy from that. But a big push here in the second half for Florida. We'll look to see what Vandy can do with their response.
Tanner off the bounce and cannot roll it down. Backdoor feed. Martin with the hammer.
Now that was an absolute dime by Houck. Put it on the money, and Martin doing the rest.
Aberdeen fouled. Edwards trying to curl off the screen.
Look at this back door. Good ball handling. Thomas Houck with his head up delivers a pass on the money, and Elijah Martin with the hammer.
All 8 of Martin's points in the second half on 4 of 5. That is a young man you do not want to get in the way of when he's got his eyes on the rim.
Oh, no, and he's been getting them close to the basket. They're all high percentage shots. He's been putting his head down, getting to the paint, and using that physique to use his spin moves to create space. He plays well off the ball, and he's been able to get that back door for the dunk.
1-1 for Edwards, and he misses the first. An 85% free throw shooter. Vanderbilt leaving some points on the table here late.
And Edwards has missed a couple of them when they needed him. It was a 55-52 ball game. Fouled for Vanderbilt to cut it to a 2-point game. Missed the free throw. Those are momentum swings that are massive in games of this magnitude.
Richard from downtown. Oh, yeah! Timeout.
Man, oh man. Will Richard has been on fire. Stepping up with 1 man down. And here he is sizing it up from deep range with the string music. There's his teammate Walter Clayton Jr. loving it. As Will Richard's been able to pick up the slack.
After that 3, Todd Golden looked at his side of the stadium and did a couple of the raise the roof motions Congratulations to the crowd. He's gotten into it too. Will Richard, a big night. You know, it's been everybody that we didn't expect. We expected Elijah Martin to carry the majority of the load. Instead, it's been Will Richard, it's been Denzel Aberdeen, and it's been Alex Condon as well, all chipping in.
I'll tell you,
as Walter Clayton is out with an injury.
Well, Will Richard has been consistent all season long. And when you have two elite guards like Walter Clayton Jr. and Elijah Martin, Will Richard is the third guard that doesn't often get talked about enough on this Florida squad. He has number one player ability, but he understands his role on this team. And when there's a man down, he's been able to step up. And you can see it tonight.
McLaughlin a three right out of the timeout. Excellent play design by Mark Byington. And a timeout taken by Vanderbilt. That three makes it an 11-point game. Vandy with one timeout remaining. Florida with two. Both teams in the bonus. Both trying to bounce back from 20-point losses plus over the weekend.
You got to love what you see from these head coaches. You come after the breaks. You see Mark Byington. You see Todd Golden. They're dialing up actions to get their players clean looks, put them in the positions to succeed. And when the players get the ball, they finish the rest. That's the quality of good coaching, is that how can you put your players in positions to be most effective? And you're seeing a lot of that on display tonight.
Well, that three stopped the 7-0 Gators run. Now can Vanderbilt string together a few more stops and scores to climb back into this game?
We'll look to see some trapping that Vanderbilt's going to do. This is a team that can create turnovers with their activity and active hands. But Florida seems to be prepared once again.
Home run pass from Elijah Martin. Condon fouled. When you got the quarterback back there just slinging it from the baseline, anything is possible.
And I know Florida has the quarterback play locked up, but I tell you, goodness, Elijah Martin seems like if he has some eligibility left, his pocket presence and ability to put the ball on the money on the deep ball has been impressive tonight.
Well, women's basketball takes over the SEC network every Thursday this week. Another great doubleheader. It's Bama, Florida. It's Vandy, Texas. 3 top 25 teams on display Thursday night on the SEC network and the ESPN app. You talk about Elijah Martin. This is a young man that was not only all-state in football and basketball. He won state in the long jump, high jump, and triple jump. He is a freak athlete that could have played any of those three sports in college. He chose basketball, and Florida's glad he chose them, transferring over from Florida Atlantic.
You know, it shows that young athletes need to be multi-sport athletes because the skill set that you can have is transferable. It's a transfer of buckets with Vanderbilt chipping away.
Back to an 11-point game, and a timeout was just called. Well, hang on a second. Was there a timeout or a foul? Mark Byington is saying there should have been a 5-second violation. And I'm not sure what the call on the floor was. Ron Groover is going into the Vanderbilt huddle, and okay, we have been confirmed that it was a 30-second timeout. So now Florida down to their final timeout.
Well, I think Mark Byington is looking at the clock and was saying that it was more than 5 seconds that went off of the clock that was running in a situation like this. And how was it not a 5-second call?
Ron Groover got together during that break with Courtney Green and Vladimir Voyard-Tadal. But nonetheless, it'll be Florida basketball as we take another look at it.
Here's the game clock. Aberdeen's out of bounds at 2:13. Not able to get it all the way down.
That's 6 seconds right there.
2:13, 2:14. That gets all the way down to 2:08. This is what head coach Mark Byington is saying, that Aberdeen was out of bounds for more than 5 seconds, and it should be Vanderbilt ball on a 5-second count. And that's a big call, but nonetheless, this is one, if you're the players, you have to regroup if you're Vanderbilt and try to see if you can get another stop again. And Florida looking to execute on the press breaker.
Alk will take it himself over the timeline. And Vanderbilt's going to start playing the foul game to extend the game with 2 minutes left to play. Third foul. No, check that. Fifth foul on McLaughlin. So now a pair of Vandy big men have fouled out of the game, including Jalen Carey.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that foul call if I'm Devin McLaughlin. You're near half-court hedging. You're switching. You have good defensive position in the tone of the game in this moment. 2 minutes to go in the game. You have plenty of time to play it out and get a stop and get back on the offensive end. And nonetheless, you're taking away a big-time defender and rebounder out of the game. Questionable decision-making right there by McLaughlin in the clutch.
And you wonder if that was a directive from his head coach, Mark Byington, coming out of the timeout. But now he and Carey on the bench the remainder of the game with 5 fouls.
Well, listen, as a player, you might get a directive from the coach, but you understand when the coach says we need to foul him, if you're the guy that has 4 fouls, he's not talking to you. You have to know that means everybody else needs to be fouling in these situations, and you have to communicate that with your teammates, even if you're in that. You're too important in a game with this magnitude that your team needs you. 14 points, 8 rebounds, and really good defensive stands by McLaughlin, and now he's not on the court with 2 minutes to go in this one.
Tyler Nickel comes back on, as does Edwards with the basketball. Off the bounce. Edwards, tough fadeaway, well defended by Aberdeen. Wanted a foul, won't get it. And now it's desperation time for the Commodores.
And that's a tough one. Edwards has been playing lights out with 20 points, but you want to work the offense and see if you can get a better shot after moving it around.
Condon with the exclamation point.
And that might be the nail right there. Strong hands by Alex Condon to catch that ball and finish it with the dunk.
Edwards set back by Condon, and the stare down.
And stepped over him. My goodness. Man, I want to talk about big-time plays. Look at the strong hands by Condon to catch that ball and finish with a one-handed slam. The emotion there by Walter Clayton Jr. And on the flip side, the emphatic dunk and stepped over him. My goodness, Alex Condon.
Closing in on a double-double with 17 points, 9 rebounds. He, Aberdeen, and Richard have stepped up in a big way. 21 for Richard, 13 for Aberdeen, and as I mentioned, 17 for Condon, the sophomore from down under, who has stepped into a new role this year. And what does it say about this Florida team? Down arguably your best player, on the ropes, down by 1 at home at the half. And they're going to come out of here with potentially a double-digit victory over a very good Vanderbilt team that's already beaten 2 top 10 teams in the last 2 weeks.
Well, to me, it shows that you can respond. After a game that you had a letdown offensively on the road in Tennessee and bounce back against a really good Vanderbilt team to make big plays in the clutch with the depth of your roster, it shows how dangerous this Florida team can be.
So Florida will get back on track after the 20-point defeat on the road at Tennessee and will remain with just one home loss this year.
That's that physical advantage that Florida has. They started this game trying to set the tone on the inside, and they're finishing it trying to set the tone on the inside as Hogard has a response from deep. You know, this is a game that if you look at the box score, you look at the final results, you're going to think that Florida had a strong performance and handled Vanderbilt here at home. But this Vanderbilt team gave Florida everything that they wanted for 35 minutes. They had a couple of breakdowns and a few possessions that allowed Florida to put the game away. But this shows the strength that this is really two really good teams in the SEC.
Florida will be at #1 Auburn next. Must-see TV between two of the top teams in the SEC and in the country. Meanwhile, Vanderbilt will look for a home rebound against a very good Texas team. Hard-fought win for Todd Golden and the Florida Gators.
Two really good teams in a well-played ball game. Tight for most of it, but Florida was able to make the surge that they needed to close it out at home.